The world is a very big place. It has many people and many rules. Some people have a lot of power. These people stay in the dark. We call them the men in the shadows. They have a plan. Their plan is to run the whole world. They want to be the bosses of everyone, but they cannot do it alone. They need a face. They need a man that everyone can see. They found a man named Donald Trump. This is a story about a secret deal. It is a story about a puppet and the people who pull his strings. At first, Trump was not their friend. He was a loud man. He said he would fight the men in the shadows. He called them the swamp. He said he would drain the swamp. This made the men in the shadows a little bit scared. They did not want to lose their power. But then something changed. They had a meeting. It was a very secret meeting. No one else was allowed to see it. In this meeting, Trump changed his mind. He did not want to fight them anymore. He wanted to work with them. He kissed the ring. This is a thing people do when they want to show they are not the boss anymore. It means he gave up. He said he would do what they wanted. In return, they said they would let him be the president again. They would give him power and fame. This was the start of the big plan. It is called the Imperial Puppet Protocol. The men in the shadows are very smart. They know that a normal leader cannot do the things they want. A normal leader follows the rules. A normal leader listens to other countries. But the men in the shadows want to break the rules. They want to take things from other countries. They need someone who does not care about rules. They need a man who acts like a bull in a china shop. Trump is that man. He is the battering ram. A battering ram is a big log used to break down doors. Trump is the log. The men in the shadows are the ones holding him. They use him to hit the doors of the world until they break. To make this plan work, they needed a big event. They needed people to love Trump even more. So they made a plan for a very scary day. There was a loud noise. There was a gun. Someone tried to hurt Trump. But it was all part of the act. It was a stage show. The men in the shadows allowed it to happen. They might have even helped it happen. They wanted Trump to look like a hero. When he did not get hurt, he looked very strong. He looked like a fighter. People saw him and said he was a martyr. A martyr is someone who suffers for what they believe in. This made people stop asking questions. They did not look at the secret deal anymore. They only looked at the brave man on the stage. This event made Trump untouchable. No one could say anything bad about him because he was a hero now. This was exactly what the men in the shadows wanted. It made his path to power very easy. It made it look like the people chose him. But really, the men in the shadows chose him a long time ago. Now the plan could really start. The plan has many parts. The first part is about breaking things. There are many old rules in the world. These rules are called treaties. They are like promises between countries. These promises say that countries should be nice and share. The men in the shadows do not like these promises. They think the promises make America weak. They want America to be a big empire. They want to be the only boss. So, they tell Trump to break the promises. Trump goes on the news and says the deals are bad. He says other countries are taking our money. He says he will walk away. And he does. He walks away from the rules. He walks away from the groups that try to keep peace. The world gets very angry. They yell at Trump. They say he is a mean man. They say he is a bad leader. This is fine with the men in the shadows. Trump is their heat shield. A heat shield is what a spaceship uses so it does not burn up. Trump takes all the heat. He takes all the anger. While everyone is busy yelling at Trump, the men in the shadows are busy doing what they want. They are making new rules that give them more power. They are doing things without asking for permission. They do not have to talk to Congress. They just use Trump to sign papers. These papers are called executive orders. They are like fast rules. They let the men in the shadows do things quickly. The second part of the plan is called the madman strategy. This is a very clever trick. Trump acts like he is a little bit crazy. He says he will do very big and scary things. He says he will put a huge tax on everything from other countries. This is called a tariff. He says he will start wars or stop helping his friends. This makes the whole world very nervous. They do not know what he will do next. This is called weaponized volatility. Volatility means things change very fast. When things change fast, people get scared. When people are scared, they are easy to boss around. This is where the good cop and the bad cop come in. Trump is the bad cop. He is the one who yells and makes threats. Then the other men come in. These are the diplomats and the people in suits. They are the good cops. They talk to the other countries. They say, "Look, our boss is a little bit crazy. He might do something very bad. But if you give us what we want, we can talk him down. We can make him stay calm." The other countries are so scared of the bad cop that they listen to the good cop. They give the US what it wants. They give up their money and their power just to make the yelling stop. For example, Trump might say he wants 100% tax. This would ruin a country. Then the good cops come in and say they will take a 25% tax instead. The other country says, "Thank you." They are happy to only pay 25%. But the truth is, the men in the shadows wanted 25% all along. They just used the big threat to make the small threat look like a good deal. This is how they win every time. They make the world accept things that are not fair. They make the extreme look normal. The third part of the plan is about taking things. The men in the shadows want resources. They want oil. They want gold. They want the things that make money. In the old days, countries would go to war to take these things. But that looks bad. People do not like war, so they use Trump to take things in a new way. They call it being a businessman. Trump tells other countries they have to pay for protection. He says if they do not pay, the US will not help them. This is like a bully on a playground. It is a way to take money without calling it a tax. It is a way to take resources without calling it an invasion. It makes the US very rich. It makes the empire very big. But it does not look like an empire. It looks like a deal. This keeps the people at home happy. They think they are getting a good deal. They do not see that they are becoming part of a giant machine that eats the world. The plan also works to take down rivals. Rivals are other big countries like China or Russia. The men in the shadows do not want anyone else to be strong. They use Trump to start trade wars. They use him to put on harsh sanctions. Sanctions are rules that say you cannot do business with a certain country. This makes the other country's money worth nothing. It makes their people hungry. It makes their government fall apart. When the other country falls apart, the men in the shadows can move in. They can take over. And who gets the blame? Trump gets the blame. People say it was his trade war. They say it was his ego. They do not see the spies and the smart men who planned it. They do not see the goal. The goal is to make sure no one can ever challenge the US again. But what happens if things go wrong? What if the world gets too angry? What if the money system breaks? This is the fourth part of the plan. It is called the scapegoat protocol. A scapegoat is someone you blame for things you did wrong. If the plan fails, the men in the shadows have a way out. They will turn on Trump. They will say he was a bad man. They will say he was too messy. They will say he did not listen to the smart people. They will tell the world that they tried to stop him, but they could not. This is a lie, but people will believe it. They will believe it because Trump is so loud and so big. It is easy to blame him. When the world is in chaos, the men in the shadows will come out of the dark. They will act like the heroes. They will say, "The bad man is gone now. We are here to fix everything." They will make new rules to save the world. But these new rules will give them even more power than they had before. They will use the mess they made to build a new world. In this new world, they are the kings. They will have total control, and the people will thank them for it. They will be so happy to have peace that they will not notice they have lost their freedom. They will not notice that the men in the shadows are the same ones who caused the trouble in the first place. The final goal of all of this is the end game. The end game is the creation of the greatest empire the world has ever seen. It will be a modern empire. It will not have a king with a crown. It will have a secret group of people who run everything from behind a curtain. The US will be the center of this empire. It will be so strong that no one can ever say no to it. The rules of the world will be whatever the men in the shadows want them to be. The UN and the international courts will be gone, or they will be useless. Raw power will be the only thing that matters. In this endgame, the president does not really matter. The presidency becomes a show. It is a job for an actor. The president is there to talk to the people and make them feel things. He is there to be a distraction. While the people are watching the president, the men in the shadows are managing the world. They are moving the money. They are moving the armies. They are controlling the information. They are the real bosses. The president is just a ceremony. He is like a mascot for a sports team. He is not the one playing the game. This is the Imperial Puppet Protocol. It is a plan to use a man's personality to hide a plan for global power. It uses chaos to create order. It uses anger to hide secrets. It uses a hero to hide a villain. It is a very big plan. It is a very scary plan. It is happening right now. Every time you see a headline about Trump, you are seeing a piece of the plan. Every time he says something crazy, it is a part of the protocol. Every time he breaks a rule, he is doing the work of the men in the shadows. The people think they are part of a movement. They think they are taking their country back. But they are just helping the men in the shadows build their empire. They are the fuel for the machine. The men in the shadows do not care about the people. They do not care about the country. They only care about power. They want to own everything. They want to be the masters of the planet. And they are using the most famous man in the world to do it. Trump is the perfect tool for them. He is loud, so people listen. He is rich, so people think he is smart. He is different, so people think he is on their side. But he is just a puppet. He is a puppet who thinks he is the master. That is the best kind of puppet. He does his job with a smile. He does his job with energy. He thinks he is making history, and he is. But it is not his history. It is the history of the men in the shadows. It is the story of how they took the world without anyone even knowing it happened. The men in the shadows are patient. They have been planning this for a long time. They have watched other empires fall. They know why they fell. They fell because people saw them. They fell because they were too slow. So the men in the shadows decided to be fast and invisible. They decided to use a man who is the opposite of invisible. By making Trump the center of everything, they made themselves disappear. It is a magic trick. When the magician waves his right hand, you do not look at his left hand. Trump is the right hand. The plan is the left hand. The left hand is busy. It is busy taking over the banks. It is busy taking over the internet. It is busy making sure that every country in the world has to do what the US says. If a country says no, the left hand pulls a string. Trump says something mean on the news. He puts a tax on their goods. He sends ships to their coast. The country gets scared. They say sorry. They do what they are told. The left hand wins. The right hand takes a bow. The audience claps. This is how the new empire works. It does not need to invade every country. It just needs to control them. It uses money and fear. It uses the America First slogan to hide America only. It tells the American people they are getting a better life. But the money does not go to the people. It goes to the men in the shadows. It goes to the big companies they own. It goes to the machines of war. The people get the show. The men in the shadows get the gold. If you look closely, you can see the strings. You can see how the stories change. One day, Trump is a rebel. The next day, he is doing exactly what the secret groups want. He says he hates the generals, then he gives them more money than ever. He says he hates the big banks, then he puts their bosses in charge of the money. He says he wants peace, then he makes the world more dangerous. It all seems like it does not make sense, but it makes perfect sense if you know the protocol. It is all about the goal. The goal is the empire. Anything that helps the empire is good. Anything that hurts the empire is bad. The men in the shadows are very happy right now. Their plan is working. The world is looking at Trump. The world is fighting about Trump. Friends are fighting. Families are fighting. everyone is distracted. While they fight, the men in the shadows are building their walls. They are making their power permanent. They are making it so that even if Trump leaves, the empire stays. They are making it so that no one can ever change it back. They have changed the way the government works. They have made the president like a king, but a king who listens to them. They have made the courts follow the plan. They have made the laws work for them. They have done all of this while people were watching TV. They have done all of this while people were on the internet. It is the greatest trick ever played. They stole the world in broad daylight, and everyone was cheering. The Imperial Puppet Protocol is not just a theory. It is a map. It is a map of where we are going. We are going to a world where there is only one boss. A world where rules do not matter for the powerful. A world where everyone is a puppet, but only one puppet has a name everyone knows. The men in the shadows are almost done. They are in the final phase. They are ready to take the prize. The prize is global hegemony. That is a big word for being the only boss of the whole world. It means no one can say no. It means everyone has to pay. It means the men in the shadows have won. They will have all the money. They will have all the guns. They will have all the power. And Trump will be the man who gave it to them. He will be remembered as the man who changed everything. He will be happy because he likes to be remembered. The men in the shadows will be happy because they have the world. This is the story of the puppet and the ring. It is a simple story, even if the plan is big. It is a story about how easy it is to trick people. If you give them a show, they will not see the truth. If you give them a hero, they will not see the master. If you give them a fight, they will not see the deal. The deal is done. The ring has been kissed. The strings are being pulled. The battering ram is hitting the door. The empire is coming. And the men in the shadows are smiling in the dark. They know that even if people find out, it will be too late. The machine will be too big. The power will be too strong. The protocol will already be working. The world will have changed. The old world will be gone. The new world will be here. It will be a world of shadows and puppets. It will be a world of empires and secrets. It will be the world they wanted. They used a man with a loud voice to build a world of silence. They used a man who loves the light to build a world of darkness. It is a very clever plan. It is a very simple plan. It is the Imperial Puppet Protocol. The end of the story is not a happy one for the people. It is only happy for the men in the shadows. They get to keep their power forever. They get to run the world from their secret rooms. They never have to worry about voters again. They never have to worry about the law. They are the law. The president is just the man who reads the script. The people are just the ones who watch the play. The play is almost over. The curtain is falling. But the men in the shadows are not leaving. They are staying in the theater. They own the theater now. They own the actors. They own the audience. They own the world. This is what happens when you kiss the ring. This is what happens when you make a deal with the dark. You get the crown, but you lose the soul. You get the power, but you become a toy. Trump is the most powerful toy in history. He is a toy that can break nations. He is a toy that can change the map. But he is still a toy. The men in the shadows are the ones playing, and they are playing for keeps. They are playing for the whole world, and they are winning. And the puppet is still dancing. He will dance until the men in the shadows are done with him. Then they will put him back in the box, and they will find a new toy. But the empire will remain. The empire is forever. This is the truth of the protocol. This is the secret of the ring. It is a simple truth. It is a sad truth. But it is the truth of the world we live in now. The men in the shadows are the bosses, and we are all just watching the show.